Recently, I was watching a deeply traditionalist thinker, Sai Deepak, critique the political trajectory of Hindutva, and his core warning was fascinating. He pointed out that the modern political Hindutva is behaving exactly like the left wing state it swore to replace. Think about that. For the last decade, the Indian political landscape has been defined by one massive, undeniable clash: secularism versus Hindutva. We are told by our primetime anchors and our politicians that these two movements are absolutely opposites in a battle for the very soul of the republic. But what if I told you they're actually becoming exactly the same? What if the war between Congress ecosystem and the BJP Hindutva isn't a clash of ideologies at all? It's a massive drama to distract us from the fact that political parties are captured by their worst supporters. Now, that leaves us with a great question: why would a hyper nationalist government act like a secular socialist? To understand that, you have to understand the three-step process of political capture. Number one, ride the wave. From the ancient time, Hindus are the people living in India have been pluralistic. That's a fact. While all over the world, one god systems were taking over and dominating Christianity and Islam, example, we remained pluralistic and diverse. Later, we were colonized by the Mughals and later by the West. A lot of people converted to Islam and Christianity, be it forced or by choice. By the time we got independence, native population already had a different faiths they believed in: Hinduism, Muslims, Sikh, Sai, etc. Even within that, Hinduism had insane number of paths and sects that were different in practice from each other. When India got independence in 47, we had a massive problem with so many different paths and religions that people practiced in India. As such, secularism was the only path forward. That is to say, it was the only way we could coexist as Hindus, obviously with Sikhs, Jains, and Parsis, Christians, etc., keeping Islam aside. It was the only way. As a result, Congress, or the secular wing of Congress, won because people were concerned about how to coexist with so many different kinds of practices. Genuine grievance. In a similar way, Hindutva started becoming popular again when we had Hindus living in a country where they were forced to accept colonization without a recourse. Places of Worship Act was clearly a panic move to sweep this massive communal tension under the rug. And another massive thing we remember during elections, but then completely forget, is anti incumbency. When a person or a party has been ruling for a long time, voters get tired of their faces and inactions. Such, they become more and more curious about the other side, especially when they have been hitting some good talking points. Example, how Hindus have been the constitutional minority in their own damn country. So again, BJP rose on the back of a genuine grievance. Step 2, they fail at governance. Now that you have rode the wave and are in power, most people appointed you for majorly one problem. It is the age old problem, literally, of roads, corruption, and jobs, which, in all fairness, is really complicated to solve because we Indians don't trust our governments. All, all governments the Indians have experienced have failed us massively. As such, as it is only natural to not trust institutions. Roads and buildings department and income tax departments are just some examples you can think of. Instead, we use the very efficient and totally safe alternative of mythical and legendary heroes. Instead of trusting the many, we give absolute power to one: the daddy, the granddaddy, etc. Partly because a lot of our families are built around one leader and there is no space for dissent. And so we mirror it in our politics. Instead of choosing what's best locally, we choose based on the supreme leader: Modi, Raga, Mamta, Stalin, etc. As such, we are in a democracy, but we vote for dictators. Best fucking voting pattern for political parties because now they can completely ignore the massive structural problem that the fifth largest economy in the world should have solved by now. Think about the tragedy of this. If we demand an actual governance instead of supreme leaders, we could solve the family economy trap. Right now, because of the massive corruption and low trust, an Indian business owner can only scale his business as far as he can trust his family members not to steal from him. If the state actually functioned, if corruption was lowered and quality labor could be trusted, businesses wouldn't be restricted to bloodlines. They would actually scale massively. They would hire the educated youth. It is an economic problem that would literally solve itself. But why would a political party do the hard, grueling work of fixing the economy when they know you'll just vote for them anyways to protect the supreme leader? That brings us to the third step: fall back on the fringes. Obviously, supporting a supreme leader, whether it be Raga or Modi, has its own limits. When you start feeling that the party is failing at these basic tasks, you start looking at other parties. The prediction polls start shifting in other parties' favor. Example, Congress in 2014 or up in 2025. BJP starting feeling it now. The top leadership of the party started panicking as they only have 1 or 2 years before the election. Public opinion is looking bad and you're likely to lose the next election. You turn to the time tested method of communal hatred, welfarism, and negative campaigning to keep your seat of power intact. But people in India understand this, that more important than ideology is progress. And thus far, the ruling party has failed at it. And so they change their votes. It's simple, right? But the loudest minority, the most radical of the voters, still hold on to the party they agree with ideologically. Example, Hindu nationalists with the BJP, pure socialists with the AAP, radical Islamists with the Congress, and anti-North, anti-Hindi, ethno-nationalists with DMK. And this is the beauty and irony of democracy. Political parties will follow their voters till the end. If the centrists and the moderates leave the party, any ruling party must cater to the fringes, the most radical of their voters, meaning the worst kind of the voters who are usually against democracy and want India to turn into authoritarian governments. Example, communists, Hindu nationalists, Islamists, etc., stay with the party. So political parties, in their panic and catering, start implementing policies that instead of helping the economy or the people, start wrecking the economy and marginalizing a certain community. Let me explain. Instead of implementing ease of access for business, more environmental and labor codes get introduced. Instead of fixing roads and corruption, demolition of illegal masjid become the tagline and the headline. Instead of equal laws for all, we start getting reservations for Muslim, pilgrim grants only for Muslim, stuff like that, right? These aren't policies designed to build a global superpower. These are desperate, unbalanced laws designed to buy the loyalty of a single community while actually screwing over everybody else. And what is the final result of this three-step cycle? Decades of a single party ruling leaves us with a drained economy, broken roads, insanely wealthy bureaucrats, and just like me, with absolutely no jobs.